Hey guys, thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And I hope you enjoyed this interview. Countries such as Nigeria must work hard to capitalize on AI's opportunities and reduce inequality. The federal government recently held an artificial intelligence workshop. How can Nigeria capitalize on the growth of AI? Is adoption, regulatory issues, among others. My expert guests will be providing insight, providing analysis to this nascent space in Nigeria. And they join me now. Mr. ALIYU GARBA is the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer at Velvot Nigeria Limited, and Dr. OLUBAYO ADEKANBI, Founder, Chief Executive Officer, Data Science Nigeria, also joins me. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to the program.
Good morning. Good morning. Great to connect you this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good to have you both on the program. Now, let's get started. Let me start with Dr. ADEKANBI. Were you at the AI workshop that was just concluded? Let me start with you.
Yes, I was actually one of the co-facilitators on behalf of Data Science Nigeria.
Okay, so just give me three key takeaways from that workshop. Well, yeah, very quickly.
I think, the first thing is to celebrate the commitment of Nigeria, of course, ably led by His Excellency, the Honorable Commissioner for Digital Economy, Innovation and Communication, Dr. Bosu Tijani.
That's the minister.
We use what we call, the minister, yes, for providing a platform where all the best of the best talents of Nigerian origin across the world could come together to chart a path for the country. So we had what I would call high intense expert-led gathering, where we're able to look at global best practices and identify the best approach to develop a Nigerian-centric AI strategy. And most importantly, Nigeria must have a well-articulated roadmap on how it seeks to harness the benefits of artificial intelligence for public good, while also mitigating the impacts on jobs, livelihood, and of course, other risks like deepfakes, scams, cyber attack, and misinformation. The third point I will note there is the fact that the session was able to clearly articulate how Nigeria will use AI to achieve economic advantage across all critical sectors, how we're going to upscale our learning environment, and how Nigeria will play in research area such that AI will become a basis for national competitiveness. In addition to that, the workshop was also very clear about how we develop clear understanding of all the pathways to achieving sustainable development goals, such that artificial intelligence is also serving for well-being and public welfare, vis-a-vis addressing most of the sustainable development goals using the powers and the possibilities of artificial intelligence, especially when it is locally nuanced and customized to reflect the peculiarities of our environment.
Now that takes me to the next question, and I will be asking Mr. GARBA that. Mr. GARBA, I don't know if you were also at the AI workshop in April. Were you there?
No, actually, I was not around.
Okay, but I guess you followed the proceedings. Now,
Yes.
Now, the question for you is that how can AI regulation balance, because I've been thinking of this, especially in this country. How can we balance innovation with ethical considerations? You've seen, both of you are in that space. I can have an AI version of me, and you will actually think it's me that is speaking. So how can AI regulation balance innovation with ethical considerations, and what policies are needed for us to ensure responsible AI adoption?
Thank you so much, Nancy, for this great question. I think it's all bounds back to identity, right? You cannot achieve a regulation if, so far as you want to regulate something, the first thing that you need to consider when regulating something, especially with the likes of technology-related things like AI, you need to think about identity first. Like, how can you be able to regulate it using the identity? AI cannot just work himself. It's actually a solution that will be built. And that solution, when it has been built, it has to be published and it has to be, be public. So now, when building the AI with all the mechanism that that you want to use to build the AI, is definitely going to be built based on specific industry or based on specific company or based on individual. So now, what actually the government need to do, which actually I must commend the work of Minister of Digital Economy, which is Bosun Journey, of what they are doing with some of the regulation that they are putting in place. But I think they need to look at the cyber security part of AI solution, right? Because if they can be able to regulate the AI from the identity perspective, nobody will be able to publish anything related to AI without having a proper compliance, right? Without following the compliance of the government of the country, which is by complying with the the NCC, complying with NIDA, compliance with all the necessary bodies that actually regulate compliance related to technology, especially from the AI perspective. So these are the kind of consideration that I think that need to be put in place while actually regulating AI in the country.
Okay. Dr. Adekanbi, what challenges do you foresee in building AI capabilities in Nigeria? That's one. Then number two, I know that was the first AI tool launch at the workshop. Can you also speak to me about that? Then number three, sorry, I'm just known to ask long questions, because so many questions at the same time, how would AI adoption impact jobs in Nigeria?
Thank you very much, Nancy. First, I will take us back to GSM revolution as a starting point. When GSM started, of course, we never had national coverage. We thought that we never had sufficient infrastructure, backbone, backhaul system to accelerate GSM coverage at that time. But we all can attest to the impact of GSM. Today, that sector is almost 14–15% of our total economy in terms of gross domestic product. So what that tells me is that, do we have infrastructure, the enablement, the support system to catalyze AI revolution in Nigeria? Things will evolve, and that's why a strategy is important. A strategy allows a country like Nigeria to understand its desired point of arrival in terms of how it will leverage AI for sustainable socio-economic development, for which resources will also be allocated to national priorities in order to attain those critical milestones. And that's one of the things I celebrate about the Honorable Minister by saying that, where do we see Nigeria in 2050 in terms of job, innovation, productivity solutions? Then how do we articulate what we must do to arrive there? So to answer the first question, my answer is, as a country, number one, we have talents, which is the most critical element of AI, because AI is about talents, because they will build the solution, they will implement the solution, they will deploy and support. If you look at our population, our mid is 17 years. So the talent we need to make it happen, we can do it. Today, most of the leading AI experts in the world are Nigerians. So, and more importantly, the foundational enablement, we also have it as a country, which are investment that the country has been making. Now, that takes me to question number two, around the national large language model that was launched at the event. The national large language model also speaks to the ability to use everyday people to build data, because AI relies on data. It learns from patterns, and from those patterns is able to predict, analyze, and of course get productized. So this platform that was built was an effort of the government to allow for inclusive diversity in how we build models that can be more Nigerian. So the platform that was built was an attempt to encourage Nigeria to build what we call audio data. When there's audio data, it means that we can build the Serial or Alexa of Nigeria, where people can engage a platform in Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Efik, Edo, or any other languages, as if you are talking to your friend. And that, for me, is a demonstration that we're not talking theory. We are also talking about practical. Now, talking about the implications or impact on us, job loss and all of that, I think that AI will not take anybody's job. That is one truth. AI will only enable us to do new jobs and create new opportunities
We're
for
having
ourselves.
robots already. Oh. We're having some companies using robots already. And yes.
But the evidence from international, IMF and several organizations indicates that there are still many opportunities and jobs that AI will not replace. So on a net effect basis, AI will create more opportunities. It will help us to do things better, help us to achieve things in a faster way, whilst it will take off, when jobs are taken away, it takes off jobs that robots can do so that we as humans can do better jobs. I think that's the way we see. So essentially, we create new jobs. And that takes me to the story of calculator. When calculator was introduced many years ago, it was said that teachers went out and there was a protest, thinking that calculator would take their job. But it never did. It only complemented them. Okay. And that, for me, is the way we should see AI. It's going to complement and, of course, make life better for all of us at scale.
So you make me remember what Sam Altman actually said, that it's a work enabler. That is,
exactly,
it's not really about replacing people. Now, Mr. Garba, let me come to you with this question. What role does reskilling and education, especially in our own climate, would do in terms of raising a generation, raising a people in this AI-driven economy? That's the first question. The second question is, what quick wins can we really get from AI in terms of national development, perhaps in some critical sectors like health sector, agri? I know that we have a lot of fantastic things that have been going on in that space, even before the advent of AI. So I would like you to really speak about that.
Okay. I think for me, this is my
then thirdly, sorry, add this one so that you can have your own three questions too. How does it,
okay.
how does it impact productivity? Productivity, yes. How does AI really impact productivity without making you lazy?
Of course. All right. So I think the first thing that you asked, this is my humble opinion. I think it's time for the country to start looking at, especially the Ministry of Education, to start looking at making it compulsory, subject from the primary school. AI need to become a compulsory subject from the primary school as well as secondary school, and it should be a compulsory courses for university. Because when you learn something from the basic, that thing will remain in your memory forever. So now, when you look at, there are so many workshops that I can see, the minister is doing, Dr. Bosom Sidani and Nida and so on, right? This workshop that we usually used to do, maybe a training of 3,000 people, maybe 2,000 people for 3 months, 6 months, is good. But we need to look at something beyond that. When we have a strategy of having a training, after the training, what about looking at sustainability, right? How, after training this, after giving them the skill of AI, how can they sustain that skill? Is by what? Partnering with different organizations that can actually, the young personnel that we train as regard to AI, that they can be able to leverage on and they can be able to showcase their own skill. And now, when AI become a compulsory subject, right, into our own education system, I think that will be a change maker of the entire, perspective as regard to AI. Let me give you an example. See our children now, our kids that we have. They are, I call them the new generation of kids that we have. They are artificial kids because the way their brain works is very, very, very
exactly.
Yes. They are very, very sharp. So imagine today, when you tell your own daughter or your own son your own PIN today, you just show him once or you show her once. The next day when you come, it already memorized it. Because of what? They are very intelligent.
Sometimes you don't
So
even need
now
to
let me
show
move.
them. They will just study you without
Of
you knowing,
course,
and
they will just study you.
open up all your
So now
devices.
imagine, exactly. So imagine we start giving them this AI, since the AI, have different category of learning. So we should just think about how we can be able to adopt it, even from the beginning, from our basic education.
Okay.
So now let me move on into the, how
Productivity.
AI can be able to, adding, the GDP of the country. I can tell you that, Nigeria is a blessed country that we have one of, the most biggest resources and assets in the world that we can be able to leverage to grow the economy. Which asset am I talking to? I'm talking about the young talented personnel that we have. When you look at the research based on our population, we have almost from the age of, let's say from 6 months to 14 years, almost 48,000, personnel that we have from the 16 months to maybe to 14 years. And when you look at from, let's say that 14 years to 35, you find out that we are up to 58 million. So now, when you look at that, when the government can implement a policy, especially the NIDA with the likes of, the Minister of Digital Economy, if after giving them the opportunity of training of maybe 6 months or 3 months, think about how we can monetize that particular training.
Okay.
That means when you are looking at giving them training, you also need to look at beyond the training. How can you also give them opportunity for the job?
Okay, very quickly, I would like
They
you
can
to
sign.
answer the question on productivity because we have just about 2 minutes to go.
Okay. So in terms of productivity, right? Just like my colleague here said, is that in terms of productivity, AI can only make you more productive because human being, we are the one that build the AI. So we are smarter than AI. And I can tell you that if you can ask AI a smart question, AI will give you a smarter question. Take, for example, if today I want to send an email, or for example, I want to make a plan for a week, maybe a social media post or a plan that I will go for holiday and so on, you can actually ask AI to do that for you, especially in terms of productivity within organization. So AI is actually the future of productivity tool with the like of ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot,
Okay.
and Meta AI and so on. So AI can only increase productivity
And not
into the
enhance
next level.
laziness. Okay.
Of course,
and not
actually,
write your project
I
because
think,
AI can write your
and
projects now for you.
I
It can
think,
do.
a lazy person is the smartest person always, because if you are lazy,
You
just
look
like
for the
this quote
easiest
from Bill
path.
Gates,
You look for the
yes,
easiest way
of
to do
course,
things.
yes, yes, of course, and AI
Okay.
can make us do
Okay.
that.
Okay, Dr. Adekanbi, just 25 seconds or 30 seconds if you can. Your final word on this discussion.
For me, I think AI has come as an enabler, but with good AI comes high quality data. And that for us as a nation, that's a focus. And for us as Data Science Nigeria, that is the area where we're focusing on, because AI is a product of learning and it must learn with the right accurate updated data. So making effort to build large language data from conversations, from behavior, from pictures, from text will be very, very critical for us to lay the right foundation for effective use of AI.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Garba, your 20 seconds, final words.
Yeah, so what I would say is that I think we are in the generation whereby AI is the future. And I think our government need to look at investing more in AI.
Okay.
And that will actually transform our country, Nigeria. So let's invest in AI and let's invest in the future of our young generation.
All right. Thank you. Thank you to both of you for joining me this morning for this insightful conversation. Let's do this again sometime soon. at least we will continue to follow the development of AI in the country. Since you've assured me it won't take my job, you won't be seeing an AI-generated Nancy here presenting my show one of these days. You know, but thank you both, and have a wonderful time.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much,
so much,
Nancy,
Nancy.
for having us. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. I'll be speaking with Mr.
Yeah. Thank you,
Aliyu
Nancy.
Garba, who is the Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director of Velvot Nigeria Limited, and Dr. OLUBAYO Adekanmbi, Founder, Chief Executive Officer, Data Science Nigeria. It's been a packed show today. Please join us again tomorrow, I guess. Yes, I guess we should be on tomorrow, but if not, you know, we're always on Mondays to Fridays, 11 a.m. to 12 noon. I am Nancy Naji. Be the best you can be and be the change that you want to see by now. Thank you for watching. In case this is your first time watching us, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, drop your comments as well as like, and most of all, share our content.